in 20 years and the first Million Man March, you had a situation where the women weren't particularly as involved. To yesterday, it was a situation where you had the women very involved, and actually Farrakhan speaking truth to power about how important the women are in the revolution and how we move forward. How did you feel about yesterday and about the women empowerment?
One, I felt really good to see Sister Melina Abdullah on stage, who's a mentor of mine, and to be invited to be a part of that. I think the fact that there were women speakers demonstrates that shift, right? I still think there are some problematic things about some of the things that Brother Farrakhan said, Minister Farrakhan said. But I think that with anything, when someone's growing in a certain area, right, that we got to give them grace with that growth. And so just to see the way that the sisters were present, they were part of every stage that you had to get through to get up there. To see that they were more deeply revered and respected and protected felt good. And I think lastly, I know that he's sitting and having personal one-on-one conversations. He's at the table with other leadership and other women. And so I respect that too, because I know that in the past, it was only men at the table, right, making these decisions. And so, I respect the growth, and I respect and appreciate feeling like I actually have a contribution to this now. And that there's space for our voices to be lifted and heard.
So now, what do you see yourself as you're doing a lot of work all over the United States, especially in Southern California? What do you feel with the energy that you got from this march? What do you feel you are going to do as an individual moving forward?
I think I'm going to do a lot of passing on of the knowledge, right? So some coalition building. I feel like I understood a lot of the questions that the mentee who was here with me, he had a lot of questions, and just helping him to kind of now question, why didn't I hear about this in school? Why wasn't this reported by media, right? So doing that piece, the deconstructing of knowledge, continuing to do work in restorative justice and finding a way to heal ourselves as a community so that we can engage in this activist work and really learn to build with each other.
Indeed. As we are doing.
Right, which is what we're doing.
As we do.
Right.
Southern California, Northern California.
Right.
Holla, right? Okay, yeah.
But that can't happen if we're not feeling healed, right? Like that barrier has to be broken down. And so continuing to do the work that I'm doing. And then just bringing people together, organizing. It felt so good to be in a sea of black faces, right? And just getting that life from being there. Even if that march and the story that was presented, even if the message wasn't right, just to be in fellowship with each other was amazing. And to see the messages on the shirts and the interfaith and all of that happening at once in this space, this historic ground that we built, right? And so that is what I want to take back. And what are we going to do with it, right? So helping to build those action plans in every space that I'm a part of.
What I feel is very interesting, especially with us when we first collaborated, we never sat there and just saw each other and said, okay, got your number, see you when I see you.
Right.
We actually come together and push that line to kind of show that this is how it works as far as collaborative efforts. If we really want to make the change that we say we want to make the change, we can't just be doing on our own formula. Here, I'm right here in your box, you're right there in your box. We have to come together. So it was a beautiful thing when I saw so many of the people that I collaborate with, that I work with, that we were here, we were able to meet, we were able to have this joy, because so much of what we talk about, we're seeing, and so much of what they're talking about, we're doing. But what do you feel about how the media's view and how the media didn't really perpetuate this event on a positive level? Though we had some media, but it wasn't 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 25 minutes, all over the place, as if it was when Ferguson was riding, when the Baltimore incidents was going on, or any of the horrific events that America has showed what they felt about Black lives, that the media wasn't paying attention to the positivity and the powerfulness that happened yesterday.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if there were media strategically placed for if something went wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if there were folks there. I'm also not surprised that this positive image of solidarity, and we were in solidarity not just with Black folks. That's something that hasn't been done before either, and that's something that they wouldn't want to be televised, because of Native folks and Latino folks and Asian folks and Black folks all over the country knew that we were on the same playing field, and we're fighting for justice for all of us. For sure that revolution would be happening a little bit sooner, and that would scare people. I think that the media makes money, right, Brother Krieger says it, crime pays,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And so the media makes money when they can sensationalize crime, when they can sensationalize the death of black bodies, when they can sensationalize why we have to continue, right, investing in the criminal justice system. And so for sure they're not going to show a bunch of beautiful black families and black people coming together to hear this powerful message about, you know, how we're going to take back our liberty, like how we're going to gain our freedom. And so C-SPAN had to do it. It's at the Capitol, right? It's in
TV
DC.
One had to do it.
They had to do it,
these are
right?
Things.
So I'm really not surprised. It was really good to be on stage and see Ebony there, like the person who was for Ebony was there taking photos and interviewing folks. You know, but we have to do that. We have to present the counter narrative. We have to put it all over social media. A side note, CNN was asking people, including myself, to use our social media posts to report about the event. Rather than being here, they were taking people's photos from Instagram and social media to use on their websites to say they were reporting it when they really don't have to be here.
Most definitely.
So yeah, it's frustrating, but it's not surprising. We know that
that's our common enemy, and that's why people have to understand when we speak upon free, how are they going to show you that you're free when there was something positive, regardless of what you feel about Farrakhan, there was something positive that was going on with black people, then it wasn't promoted. It wasn't televised. It wasn't televised.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, blessings, Queen. I appreciate you all the time.
Thank you.